What you're looking at is Orange County's interfaith councils. We have a dozen of them, and most of them are in county, but we also have South Coast Interfaith from Long Beach in the north, and we work with Steve and Abigail Albert, our hosts from San Diego, as part of our group. We also have some that are county-wide, and some are working with Indigenous women and the Indigenous people themselves. So if you can go to the next slide now, Don. We have a unique opportunity of working with the sheriff of our county. They put together a interfaith advisory committee, and we sit on that from all different faiths and work with the sheriff. And as you can see, he comes to a law enforcement iftar that is put together by the Pacifica Institute, and all the interfaith groups in our area attend with him. Next. We also do other iftars with the Latter-day Saints and then Interfaith one, and we have been invited to many mosque interfaith iftars that we have been a part of. But we also meet twice a month, every other month with our Council of Presidents. You're going to be hearing from some of these around the table that will be talking to you about what they're doing in their council. And we get together and do that. Sheriff came to this one, and it was wonderful. The next one, the next slide is that we do this hybrid. That means that we meet in person at 11:30 for those that want to socialize and eat. And then, as you can see in the back, we have a screen where people link in so that we will double the size of our group as a hybrid meeting of all our councils every other month. Sometimes we do it on Zoom, sometimes we do it hybrid like this, hosted by different houses of worship. Next. We also, most of our councils will do a Thanksgiving service. This happens to be in Santa Ana, the Newport Mesa Irvine Interfaith Council that I've been president of twice, gets together all the different choirs from different faiths and coordinates them with song, and then also brings in speakers from different faiths, and we thank with different themes every time as we do this at Thanksgiving. Next. We also have an opportunity to put up booths at the great park in Irvine. Thousands of people come by and see different faith booths. This happens to be the one that's Interfaith Youth Alliance for our county, all the youth. And they also had a wheel that was so neat because it has all the faiths, if you can see that, with questions, and kept people coming up to it to answer those questions about the faiths. Next. We also have been opportunity to bring everybody together for an annual picnic. Over 2,000 people came from all the different faiths in the cities to Mile Square Park in the middle of our area. And this year, we're shooting for the Guinness Book of Records for 3,000 plus. You're going to hear more about this and see a video in just a few minutes. Next. We also do many service projects inside and outside. This happens to be an inside one that's been going for over 2 decades. You're going to hear about it from Jaime Day, who put this thing together. And it's just a wonderful gathering, and I'll tell you a little more about it later as we get to that program. Next. Blessing of the Waves, a neat activity that Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith does. They speak at sunset. They have surf music. They have everything related to the water, and they just thank God for the ocean that goes along our Interfaith Council areas. Next. I think we just did that one. Where's the next one? We all try to go to new openings of houses of worship. This happens to be the LDS new temple in Yorba Linda. all the different councils set up to come up here as a part of it. You can see Don and his wife, Janet, with myself in front of it here. And as new places open up, that's one of the things as the new president of the Orange County Interfaith Network, which I was just asked to do a couple of weeks ago. I would like to have our groups go to every house of worship that opens up brand new and all over the county, and we will try to support them as they open. One of my thoughts. Next, we have a unique opportunity in one of our councils that is Anaheim, where it's actually hosted by the city, and the city uh, quarterly brings all the faith togethers to talk about the homeless situation in Anaheim, the hunger situation, everything else. And the faith groups tell the city what they'd like to have them do with the city, kind of like we do with the sheriff on the county-wide basis. So this is what Orange County uh, Interfaith Network is all about, supporting the councils you're about to see, and they will give you more information about what we do. And I am so proud that they asked me to be the president of the county operation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for all of you as we gather to celebrate Interfaith Awareness Week. My name is Cathie Capp. I am an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church, serving the University United Methodist Church in Irvine as the lead pastor, and I am also currently serving as the president of the Newport Mesa Irvine Interfaith Council. And because that is a mouthful, anytime I make reference to it in the future, I will say NMIIC, and that is what I mean when I say that acronym. So I thank you for joining, and let's see, why am I not able to advance? There we go. All right, so the Newport NMIIC participates in a number of ways. And so the most frequent activity we do are luncheons, and these take place from noon to 1:30 in the afternoon on the third Wednesday of most months. Now, topics vary and can be repeated as they are relevant for the time. We have some that are called Religion 101. And what we like to do in these is we'll take a lesser known religious tradition. The most recent one was the Sikh tradition. We've had Quakers and a number of different religious practices and traditions and cultural traditions. We've had Native American spiritual presentations as well. And we have speakers that offer a glimpse into their practices. Sometimes there will be an opportunity to partake in a particular practice, and then mostly it's informational with some questions and answers. And almost all of these, are over a lunch. And so we do ask for a donation as people come, and that supports the work of the Interfaith Council more broadly, but it also allows us to feed everybody because we know that though we come from diverse backgrounds, we are unified in our hunger, in our world hunger, in our own hungers as well. So in addition to Religion 101, we also have luncheons that are on relative community topics. So hunger and housing and healthcare in the local community. How can different faith traditions support the needs at that time? And we have our upcoming, or one of our upcoming ones is about AI and how does artificial intelligence impact human relations and human connection, and how can we use it to move our ministries in a positive way, but also how can we address the needs, the humanitarian needs that arise when we use computers and digital materials as often. Another option that we've had, or another opportunity we've had, is service projects. And so as you will see in a little bit, we've had one that was called Do Good Together. So this is an example of one of our luncheons, and we were celebrating the Chinese New Year and learning about the Chinese New Year at the South Coast Cultural Center. And so in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the tables set up for the luncheon with a speaker. And we enjoyed some delicious Chinese food as well. And we learned, and then we got to take a tour of the facility. And even though some of the folks had left at the point that we took this group photo, the bottom photo here is a group photo from the end of the tour that we took of their facility. And it was a wonderful opportunity. Most of us that attended had not been to the cultural center. And so it was a way for us to learn about the traditions and practices and get involved in the community in a new way. Another opportunity now, I'm going to be in full transparency. This photo is actually not from this particular luncheon, but I thought it would work. During Ramadan this last year, we had both iftars, which you'll see it a little bit later, but we also decided that it wouldn't quite be fair to host an event that offered a lunch or a meal when two of our faith traditions were fasting at that time, both our Muslim siblings and our Baha'i siblings. And so what we did was we had a no food luncheon. And so this one was free. There was no registration cost. And we learned and we heard from both our Muslim and Baha'i siblings about the practice of fasting. And we did that in a way that didn't require them to experience the hunger while we all stuffed our faces. The photo on the right is from one of our luncheons that took place at a mosque. And so I felt that the photo was better here, but we've gone to a number of different places. This is from our Do Good Together. And so many traditions have a practice of engaging with the community in a way that helps to build unity and lift one another up. Whether you're from either Christian, Judeo, Muslim, Baha'i, Zoroastrian, Sikh, every tradition has a call for us to lift one another up. So this was an opportunity for us to, the upper picture is we were creating affirmation jars for women in a domestic abuse shelter. And the lower, there's actually two here, but they were hygiene kits for asylum seekers or people who were needing some dignity given to them through the hygiene kit ministries. Then we also, as I said, in whichever month is filled most with Ramadan, because as you know, Ramadan moves earlier by 10 days, or maybe you don't know, but it moves earlier, so it always changes. So this year in March, we did not have a luncheon. We had iftars. Now we advertise quite a few iftars. You will hear, I believe, from Pacifica a little bit later, but some of these are hosted through our partner with Pacifica Institute. This particular flyer is for the one that was hosted by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and this one was the official event sponsored by NMIIC. And so we partake in the iftar, the breaking of the fast at sundown during Ramadan together. And I just stuck this upper right-hand corner because it was actually at an iftar that I was recruited to serve on the board of the Newport Mesa Interfaith Council or Irvine Interfaith Council. And so this was the event that I just went to thinking I was going to experience something culturally and religiously significant, and then it became a bigger part of my life. Now, in addition to the lunches, we have two large events that we host each year, and the first of which is the Interfaith Prayer Breakfast in May. Now, we range between about 200 and 240 participants at these events. They always include community leaders. So we have mayors that participate, police chiefs, fire chiefs, city council members, you name it, we have people coming. This last year, we did this event in partnership with the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council because we had learned that we were often doing something on the same day. And we thought with such a phenomenal speaker, we would join forces together to meet a broader audience. And we have a distinctly interfaith focus, as several other organizations will host what a National Day of Prayer breakfast. And we separate ourselves from that because that is specifically it lifts up specifically Christian only faith as the one that is part of the prayer breakfast. And it's also something that's politically motivated, not necessarily spiritually motivated. And so we specify that ours is an interfaith prayer breakfast. And we have prayers for individuals, for families, for cities, for counties, for states, for nation, and for world. And these prayers are lifted up by people across the diverse spectrum of who we represent. And so we are hearing the words and the prayers of oh so many people. And let's see, this last year we had Steve Young, who is a former quarterback for the 49ers, and he came and spoke to the whole group. And these are some photos from prayers. So the lower right photo would be like a politician, upper right corner shows the law enforcement, and this is the broad range of people that we have participating. Another big event we do is our Thanksgiving musical celebration, and this one brings in between 100 and 150 attendees. It again takes prayer and music representing the diverse faith communities, and it includes a service project where we collect food for a local food pantry. So this is the flyer from our most recent one. There's always a theme, and this last year's was celebrating life's beauty. These photos, the top one is from this past year, the one below is from the year before, and we always have a collaborative song at the end that is between all of the choirs. So we can share that though we represent diverse religious belonging and identity, that we can be of one voice for love and community in the love and unity in the community. So I'm going to leave you all with that. That is my time. Thank you.
All right.
So much.
We are now going to hear from Kelly Frankiewicz, who is the president of the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council.
Hello, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. I am Kelly Frankiewicz, the current president of the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council. We are a gathering of representatives of faith-based communities and individuals dedicated to understanding, respecting, promoting, and celebrating spiritual and cultural diversity. Our regular council meetings are on the last Tuesday of every month at Huntington Beach City Hall, basement room B8 at 7641 Calvert Avenue, Huntington Beach, California. I'm noticing that all of our little squares are up there. Is it possible to put mine in as the speaker as the large square at this time? As we did for, was it Cathie?
It is a large picture.
Oh, for you. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. When our meeting begins at 8:15 for a meet and greet and a light breakfast, the council meeting begins promptly at 8:30. These meetings are open to the public. All are welcome to participate. Speakers from various faith groups or nonprofits are invited to give special presentations at the beginning of each meeting, or we have representatives from 3 different faiths share their approach to a chosen subject, such as fasting or initiation into the group. Our yearly events, we're finishing out this year. The very next one is the Blessing of the Waves, which will be Sunday, September 13th. This annual event brings together people from all walks of life, faith and civic and community leaders overlooking the vast ocean, symbolizing the boundless unity we share. The B-52 Lifeguards Band plays surfer music to gather community participants on the lawn just north of the Huntington Beach Pier at 5 p.m. And music, the participants, this program includes Polynesian dance, words of wisdom from surfers, and concludes with an optional paddle out at 6:15. OC Around the Table for 2026 will be Sunday, September 27th. This will be the second year that Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council is helping to sponsor this community potluck. Mustafa Ulukaya from the Pacifica Muslim Institute will flesh out this event fully later on in this Orange County segment. Thanksgiving and Interfaith Prayer Gathering is in November. For us, it'll be on November 14th. This year, we are celebrating the 30 years of the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council. It will be a dinner gala at the Fountain Valley Civic Center, which will be ticketed through our website. We're called the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council because our membership draws from Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, Westminster, and points all around. Our annual year then begins in March, although we will meet for our meetings in each of the other months. But the month begins in March with a new event. It's a poetry night and creative showcase. This is a new program initiated in 2026 by a GHBIC member, and it is a celebration of the creative spirit in our community. It's open to everyone to bring their poem, painting, craft, or song, or any creative work to share. Presenters are given 5 minutes to share their creative work on stage. Community Service Day will be Saturday, April 24th in 2027. Each year since 2014, the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council has sponsored Service Day in April for the cities of Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, and Westminster. Over 1,000 plus volunteers come out to beautify and enhance our parks, nonprofits, wetlands, and faith group sites for one morning of work, followed by lunch and performances in the Huntington Beach Central Park Library and Band Shell. On May 6th, is part of the Community Interfaith Prayer Breakfast. This is an annual event celebrated each year on the National Day of Prayer. The first Thursday in May, prayers on specified themes are offered by representatives of several different faiths. And then on the 4th of July, we have just completed this one. The Huntington Beach Interfaith Council sponsors a float in the Huntington Beach Parade, which is the largest parade for 4th of July west of the Mississippi. It's from 10 until 12, and it is covered by Channel 7, recordable by Channel 7. We participate, have a float, and it is in the parade, and we have musicians on that float and walkers to accompany the float. I think we have a minute left if anyone has a question about any of those things.
We now are back on schedule, and our next speaker is Gary Goodman from the Interfaith Council of Greater South Orange County.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here with all of you. Yes, I'm president of the Interfaith Council of Greater South Orange County, which is probably one of the largest councils in Orange County. There's over 70 members of our council, and we represent pretty much the whole spectrum of houses of worship, including Muslim, I'm an Episcopalian, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Baha'i, Christian Science, Hindu, Presbyterian, and Methodist. There are probably a couple of others that I haven't mentioned, but it's a pretty diverse group. And what we have done, we put together what I consider a little brochure, and I'll hold it up. and I can send it around. It's actually a 4x6 card, and on the card there's a mission statement on one side, and on the other side we have the different events that we call our signature events, and it includes a QR code, which if you go to it, it actually takes us to our Facebook page. And then there's a website mentioned down here that, or not a website, but an email address that you can email us. So we're trying to, get our name out there as best we can. I'm going to read something that we call our mission statement that we read at the beginning of every meeting. We meet the second Tuesday of every month, and the first two meetings are Zoom meetings, and then the third meeting is an in-person meeting hosted by one of our houses of worship. And when we do that, attend a specific house of worship, we also typically get a tour of that house of worship, and often we'll have the leadership of that house of worship, whether it's the rector of an Episcopal church or the head of the Baha'i church. Then it creates a better understanding of each other's houses of worship, which is what we're all about. So our mission here is building bridges, creating community. The Interfaith Council of South Orange County brings together people of diverse faith traditions for dialogue, collaboration, and service. As a demonstration of our shared beliefs, we envision a community in hopes of developing a more respectful, connected, and caring society. How we make a difference. Number one, we encourage interfaith dialogue to create opportunities for greater understanding, respect, compassion, and civility for the common good. Create and support interfaith learning opportunities, presenting united faith-based responses to social justice issues. And number three, includes all religion perspectives, exercises, stewardship for our resources. So we think that really kind of sets the stage for our meetings. So we have about 5 major signature events, and I'll start off with our first one, which is called Bullying, Bigotry, and Bravery, which BBB. And this one was developed some time ago in our council to deal with these things, particularly bullying and bigotry. And the idea is to set it up with parents of children, high school children, and then have them participate in this event that's usually an hour and a half, and it's hosted by one of the houses of worship. And everybody does a little bit of role playing. So we have people who are bullying, and then we have people that are expressing bigotry, and then we have people that express bravery standing up to these things. And it's a great way for especially young people to learn about these different things today, especially in our world of that's so fractured politically and economically and everything else. So that's a very important event, and we hold that every year. The other thing we do every couple of months, we go to a friendship shelter in Laguna Beach, and this is a shelter that houses homeless people. There's probably about 10 to 15 people there, and a bunch of us will go down there and bring a meal. They have a full kitchen down there that we can use, and we'll cook a meal. And then some of us will bring food, some of us prepare food. But the nice thing about it is we sit down with people that are in this shelter, and we talk to them and learn about what they've been through and how they ended up there. And they're just wonderful people, of course, like all people. And you learn so much about where they've come from, and us being able to reach out to them and give them a meal means a lot to them. So we're very happy to be doing that. The other signature event is something we call Faith and Issues Forum, which we have once a year. And that can be anything from having a speaker, which we did last year. We had Kay Lindell, who is a New York Times bestseller published author, who's written a book about listening. So we had her lecture us on the importance of listening, and in the other topics we've had in the past are combating bias, intolerance, and in harm, healing and health, building community through convention. These are topics that we typically host or have, and sometimes we'll have a panel. Like I say, we'll sometimes just have one person, but it's definitely one of our events that we're very proud to open it up to people all over the county. Sing Thanksgiving. So many of us do a Thanksgiving program. I like the way ours is put together by somebody in our faith, in our council that's been there forever, and he has a whole list of people that he can call on to attend this. It's about an hour and a half, and we usually have a church or a synagogue or whatever host it, and we go through a program of music, poetry, and just it's delightful. An hour and a half of Thanksgiving program, and exemplifies the whole holiday of what we're thankful for. Lastly, I'll talk about something that we call the longest night vigil. And this, of course, is held on the longest night of the year, which is December 21st. Every year, it's the same. And that is a day where we will typically have it outdoors at a house of worship. And we have speakers and music and people who read poetry. Interspersed with that kind of a program, we have people who read the names of those individuals in Orange County that have died, that have been unhoused in the last year. It's a very somber evening, and it's outdoors for a purpose. It's cold, and it sort of, it makes us realize what it would be like if we had to live outdoors. And it's a lovely event, and it very, very moving. Given that it's candle lit, and as I say, a lot of speakers and poets and people from all faiths participating. So that covers it.
Those who don't know me, I happen to be a member of the Baha'i faith, and so I got involved with Interfaith probably when I came to Orange County about 30 years ago, and I've been active with the Newport, Mesa, Irvine Interfaith Council and with the Orange County Interfaith Network for the last couple years, bringing together the different councils you're hearing from right now with Don Garrick, and then just recently was asked to be the president for the whole group, and that's who I am. And now we're on to our next program, which is one I got involved with when I was still working with Scouts, which I did for 40 years, preparing young people for their futures as the exploring director. And this is the president of the Anaheim Religious Community Council, Reverend Nathan Zug.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Greetings from Anaheim, California, and Anaheim Religious Community Council. I'm going to share my screen here. I hope. Great. So Anaheim Religious Community Council is a collection of all the faith-based communities or groups in the city of Anaheim. This is our mission statement. I'm going to kind of go quickly and then leave time for questions at the end. So our mission statement is to provide a forum in which religious leaders can voice their concern about community needs in Anaheim, plan strategies for addressing those needs, and work together as individuals or with the help of their entire congregations to meet those needs. And we work as a collective. So it's a collective group all on board, assisting with the faith-based movement in Anaheim. There's a few things that are true of our group. There's a few things that are true of our group. It's a City of Anaheim and faith-based community partnership. It has a leadership team. It's led collaboratively, and I'm currently the chair of that leadership team. We love and serve the city as a collective group. we focus on causes, homelessness, service project, events, and single projects, and human trafficking typically. Those are the three big ones for us. And then our city elected officials and staff always have an open invite to every meeting. A lot of times they are email invited or personally invited. And we have a good showing of elected officials and staff at our quarterly meetings. We meet quarterly. They're announced ahead of time at the beginning of the year. And particularly our chief of police and our city manager are invited to come. This is just an example of our Anaheim Community Council leadership team meeting agenda. Each meeting has an agenda. On the right is our community council meeting coming up August 18th, actually next week. And then for the first time this year and into the future, we're going to have a City of Anaheim Community Council, Anaheim Religious Community Council resource fair, where any faith-based group in the city can have a table. This is at downtown Anaheim's community center, and highlight their services, anything about them to the community that comes. And we're going to have this each year. And so that's a quick flyby. A little bit about myself. I served as a youth pastor for 35 years, and I'm an ordained minister at Magnolia Baptist Church. It's in the west part of Anaheim and part of the North American Baptist denomination. I also serve as an Anaheim police chaplain and fire chaplain, and I run a nonprofit that is non-sectarian that has the goal of having religious and non-religious people and groups serve together for the better good of Anaheim. Sure. So Love Anaheim is one of the programs of the nonprofit JMH that you saw the logo on my contact info for. So it's a service project platform that has service project events probably quarterly, where anyone can sign up for a project that gives back and assists the city with a need that it has. And so we have typically faith-based groups helping as groups or individuals, community groups, different agencies and companies, 200 to 300 people per event a lot of times. And that's just a way that people can give back to the city. I'll stop there. So we have a volunteer platform called Love Anaheim that allows people to give back to the city.
Just to let you know, we have done a lot since I went up when I retired in 2015 and went up to Utah and learned about all the different faiths that work together with cities and with mayors. And our director went up with us and ended up Farrah Khan becoming the mayor of the city of Irvine, which is amazing. And now she's coming back to help us afterwards, which is wonderful. And that's the neat thing, is the opportunity for cities. And what we've done in the Newport Mesa Irvine Interfaith, we do on a periodic basis since we cover 3 cities, which most of our interfaith councils do, except for the one you're hearing about right now, which is the city of Anaheim. We get the 3 police chiefs together, or the 3 mayors together, or the superintendents of the schools, so that we keep the link between the community out there and the interfaith community working together. And I think that's the thing that ARC, Anaheim Religious Community Council, does so well, of putting together the city and the interfaith community for the good of the need of the community. I happen to be also in Anaheim with Rotary there too for over 100 years. I've been there 30.
The thing that we've found to be the best thing, which is true humanly in the city of Anaheim, is that if you have relationships that are positive and productive and solution-based, you're going to get a lot further. And that involves being together. It involves talking about challenging subjects that are political and not political, whatever which way. And so we've developed over the last 25 years these really good relationships between faith-based groups and leaders and the city itself. And so we have relationships and trust, and we can actually work on things together, and we're present together. So and a couple suggestions. Our ARC group is one of the 10 groups on our Human Services Network in the city. So we have a identified group. ARC is on that group. ARC is usually invited to sit on major projects. So a representative from ARC would sit on, let's say we're doing a big beach boulevard improvement or some giant project where they want community representatives. The city will often look at ARC and say, well, we want a faith-based representative. So ARC, could you provide us with representatives? So the result of relational equity is big, and it has fostered our movement forward over the decades. And I'm glad to be able to continue, that. And Lane is speaking a lot about that, just the relationships we have and the ability you have from those trusted relationships. So I want to thank all of you in my last minute for the work that you do, particularly because I know each of you in your zip code, your local place are making a difference. So thank you for that. And I personally and ARC appreciate the opportunity to be able to be here today speaking with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And I would encourage all of you to be involved with the cities. We ended up having our director from the Newport Mesa Irvine Interfaith Council become the mayor of Irvine, and we always do a program each year with either the three chiefs from the law enforcement that speak as a panel, or the city mayors that speak as a panel, and also the superintendents, another piece of it, education and how we are educating the young people, and hopefully with a spiritual base. So now we are on to our next speaker, which is going to be the new president of the South Coast Interfaith Council, not actually in Orange County, but in Long Beach, Michele Dobson.
All righty, good afternoon, everyone. I have a PowerPoint presentation I want to launch for you. I am happy to be the new president of the board for South Coast Interfaith Council. And one of the things that we're learning as we listen to all these chats is we're getting really educated about the connection between all of these groups and their city officials, which is something that we need to strengthen with our council. So what I'm excited about with what we do is that we actually started as an ecumenical council and moved to interfaith, which was a big leap for us. When we started in 1953, it was only Christian organizations or Christian-based organizations, and it wasn't until 2004 that we voted to become interfaith. And it's actually been a more meaningful experience for us since then. One of the things that we do that is our primary focus is we deal with food insecurity. So it's not moving forward. Okay, there it is. We deal a lot with food insecurity among our congregations, and we do a lot of fostering of learning about other faith traditions through our Interfaith Cafes and our Religion 101 classes. And we actually record our Religion 101 classes so that people can go on and see those later. And we actually get a lot of comments about those, especially in times when there are tensions between different faith traditions. We have gotten feedback that people will go to our Religion 101 page on YouTube, and they will look at that faith tradition they're having a conflict with, and they will get some compassion and get some understanding. about how to deal with other faith traditions. Something we've been doing of late is we've been providing resources through our constant contacts. When things happen in real time in society that may worry people, we have been providing them with a statement from our different faith traditions, offering some comfort, but also offering local resources in the Long Beach and South Bay area regarding where they can go to seek help if they are troubled by some of these things that are rolling out. So for example, some of our recent statements that are coming up, there was a change in Social Security. So we briefly, try to offer some comfort about those changes and then offer the resources in our area for people. And that has actually driven a lot of traffic to our social media, which is something that we've been working on since I started in April. And the big issue there for us is that our social media was not updating. And if your social media is not updating, people stop going to your pages. So we have tried to continue to update our pages frequently about the interfaith work that we and our congregations are doing, along with these statements, offering comfort on topics that are happening in real time in the news. And that has helped people not only to find comfort, but also to come and seek us out to see, okay, how can I help? Something that we have that we're very excited about is since 1980, we have farmers markets to address food insecurity. In our area, we now have 6 farmers markets. And it's not only a service to the farmers themselves, but what's exciting to us is that it's a service to the community because we are permitted to take the various food programs from both the county, state, and federal government as payment at our farmers markets. So people who are food insecure can come and get fresh food from our farmers markets, even if they are on some type of assistance programs. Something that we've been really working on lately is we've been visiting our other, our sister and brother congregations, if invited. And that has been a lot of fun for us to be able to go inside of synagogues and temples and mosques and be able to ask questions. Something that we're implementing in about a month is, in addition to that, if our congregations want it, we are asking them to have a holiday or a service or a deal, or what, if it's part of your faith tradition, if you can allow people that are not in your faith traditions to attend, please let us know. We will push that out. So if you want someone to come to Shabbat or something, let us know. We'll push that out. And other faith traditions can come and participate. And there's a lot of excitement around that because people are curious and they want to know, but they don't know how to approach congregations. So we're inviting our congregations to make their themselves available if they are open to visits or participations in their traditions or holidays or dinners. So that's all for me, if anyone has any questions.
We really want to thank the South Coast Interfaith Council for being a part of our group in Orange County. And we do work together. And we try to support each other. I know Dawn has been to a few of your organization events. I've been online with a few of them. And that's a nice thing to keep in mind, that a lot of things are becoming hybrid. If you can somehow offer an opportunity, because we do drive from council to council, if you can do it hybrid and set up something like that, that would be really good. I sit on a lot of different things where we're doing it hybrid, even around the world. It gives you opportunities interfaith wise, as you can see if you've watched any of the rest of these programs that the Alberts have put on for many years, for 10 years. The whole idea of working together and learning about what's going on is what's really great about what's happening right now. We learn from each other when we get together, whether it's online or whether it's in person, when we get together every couple months. And if we can get to each other's events that you're hearing about in person, that's even better. So we're hoping this will work well with you.
Thank you so much for
Michele,
allowing me to share. I appreciate it.
Michele, how big is your organization?
The current number is about 983. And it says 35 congregations. That's not the real number. It's now 28 congregations. But
About how many cities do you-
it's renewal time for us, so that number hopefully will go up. We serve along the coast from Sail Beach all the way up the coast through Redondo Beach. Thank you so much.
Where you awarded me the Sage of the Year for Interfaith.
Well, one of the key things that we do is we are preparing the future of our interfaith groups through our youth. And that's the next, or no, I'm sorry, I skipped one. We have a unique opportunity to work with something called the Pacifica Institute. For many years, our councils have been working with them, and I'll let the executive director, Mustafa, tell you about the Pacifica Institute and actually show you a video of our Orange County around the table that they are now promoting, and the Ramadan gatherings we do at their site.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elaine. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us from different parts of the world. It's a great pleasure to be with you during the Interfaith Awareness Week. My name is Mustafa Ulukaya, and I am the Executive Director of Pacifica Institute. I am Muslim by faith and a member of the Hizmet movement, a faith-inspired civil society movement that emphasizes education, dialogue, service, and peaceful coexistence. Pacifica Institute is a nonprofit organization dedicated to building stronger communities through interfaith dialogue, intercultural understanding, civic engagement, education, and community service. At the heart of our work is a very simple belief. When we have opportunities to meet one another, listen to one another, and build genuine friendships, many of the barriers between us begin to disappear. Today, I'll like to share 2 examples how we try to put that belief into practice. The first one is OC Around the Table, a large community gathering in Orange County where people from different cultures, faiths, cities, backgrounds, and literally come around the same table to share food and conversation. Our first gathering last year in 2025 at My Square Park brought more than 2,100 people. The idea is simple. We may come from different backgrounds, but when we sit together, eat together, and talk together, we begin to see one another as neighbors. The second example that I'm going to give will be the Interfaith Iftar dinners. During the month of Ramadan, for many years, we have invited Christians, Jews, Muslims, and other faith communities to break bread together. Last year, in 2026 Ramadan, which is on February 2026, we had our 20th Interfaith Iftar dinner annual. And we built, through these iftar dinners, we built lasting friendships. Both programs teach us something important. Sometimes dialogue begins not with a conference or formal discussion, but simply with an invitation to share a table. Today, I would like to take you some of our tables. Let me share my screen. Just a moment. To see the recap of our Orange County Around the Table event in 2025.
Fire went out, lights went down. When you feel lost in your shadow, don't feel alone, don't scream so loud. We are living in this cruel world, broken but strong, gotta move on. You're not a bakery of life. Equip my soul, find the real gold. I'll fulfill what I started.
of blue and clouds of white, a bright, blessed day, the sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
Yeah, that's the last year's event, and it was a great turnout. Like for the first year, we had 2,100 people, and this year we are planning this event again in the Mile Square Park, and our goal is the breaking the Guinness World Record. And if we exceed 2,300, and our goal is 4,000 this year, we are gonna break the Guinness Book of World Record, Guinness World Record, and it will be on September 27th on Sunday, like between 3 to 6 p.m. in Mile Square Park. And we have a great partnership with the counties, cities, Chamber of Commerce, and most importantly, the Interfaith community. And that's all for the Orange County around the table. And also, I'm gonna give an example about our Interfaith Iftar dinners as well. Just a moment. Yes, we were founded in 2003, and nonprofit organization. We serve in all state of California, but our headquarters are in Orange County, and we have iftar dinners. We had different communities, interfaith iftars, church, synagogue, law enforcement appreciation, universities, neighbors, and community iftars. And in last year, we had 26 gatherings during the month of Ramadan. And we had 8 church iftars, 4 synagogues, 1 Baha'i center, and general interfaith 4 times. And we had a college and university students iftar. And I just want to share one feedback about that college and universities. When we have in the college iftar, we had some guests from all the way from South Carolina. A group of college students came, and when I received a message from that professor from that college. When they get the reflections from the people, they said the iftar dinner they had together was the best. Let me quote the saying exactly. Just said that for some of the students coming to the center was the single most important experience of their university life. It's really motivating us to continue these type of events and programs.
Mustafa, we couldn't do this without you, and we're all looking forward to the next Orange County around the table. As I was starting to say, one of the things that all our councils work with is preparing the young people to become the leaders of the interfaith councils in the future. And to talk a little bit about what we call the IYA, or Interfaith Youth Alliance, is the president, Brenda Davis.
My friends, I'm so thankful to be here with you today. IYA started out almost 20 years ago as the Interfaith Youth Council of Orange County. And it was started by our friend Mike Penn and Dr. Jasjeet Singh. And they did a thing called Faith Forum with our kids. And it has grown. The picture you're seeing right now is our from one of our faith forums. We've had 19 of them already. This past year, we had 125. And it's for high school students throughout the county. Our kids are high school students, and they're from all different faith traditions. We have a board that we meet throughout the year at different locations. And every month we go to a different house of worship. We have some training. And the kids plan out our activities now. We have a fabulous interfaith executive director, and Dr. Jessica Moss. She's a sociology professor who did all of her theses for both her master's and PhD in interfaith work. We couldn't be better blessed. She's the lady there in the orange shirt on the left, and we're really thankful to have her. And she's added a few things this past year. A couple of years. We now have an immersion program in the summer, and we take 12 students. It's a week-long celebration, and they have been gathering at Cal State Fullerton in the dorm. And over the 5 days that we had them, they visited 14 houses of worship, participating in and observing rituals, learned from community members, engaged in 4 trainings and workshops, and contributed to community service projects and built relationships. And we have such a diverse community here in Orange County. The first day they had Indigenous, the Sisters of One Drum come in, and then they ended the evening by going to BAP's Hindu Mandor. The next day they started by mental health training, finding peace in a polarized world. And then they drove up to LA to join CLU, the Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice, along with New Ground, and learned about what those organizations were doing. And then on their way home, visited in Pasadena the First United Methodist Church and Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center that meet in the same building, which was quite an incredible spot. And they ended at the Pacoima Gurdwara and to learn about the Sikh tradition, and have dinner with them at their langar. And it continued on like that. So it's just amazing to be with these youth and to have them learn and understand. One of our first groups said, "Oh, I finally get what you are trying to teach us. The more you learn, the less you hate." Or our current motto is putting your faith into action. And that's what they do. And so the faith forum is wonderful because we put the word out. And so quite often we have about 20 kids that come on a regular basis and are involved with our leadership. But when we have 125, we invite them from all different communities, and they come and they learn a lot about each other, and they learn a lot about their own faith. The thing that I find really interesting is to talk to the youth from my faith tradition, which is I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they'll say, "Oh, I didn't know this." But they come out with a more meaningful appreciation of their own faith tradition. And that's kind of what all of the kids do, because we want them to talk about not only what they believe, but what their leaders are teaching and what their sacred scriptures teach. So that is our Youth Alliance. I am not going to continue on more because details are going to be held at 4:00. We get to have our own session, and our youth are going to lead it. So you will be just amazed at these wonderful young people. The majority that are there have gone through the program 3 or 4 years, and 2 of them have just graduated. One is a senior coming up. So it'll be exciting to see them. In the last couple of minutes, I'm also the president of the Central Orange County Interfaith Council that covers Tustin, Orange, and Santa Ana, California. And I want to tell you about this really cool interfaith thing that they're not many of the people who participate are council members, but it's not done by our council. It's called Sunday Supper. And it started almost 20 years ago to host people, to provide dinner for people who are struggling, families that are struggling with food insecurity, as well as for homeless people. And it's hosted by St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Tustin, and other faith traditions that are also participating is Aldersgate Methodist Church, Unity of Tustin, Congregation B'nai Israel, City Gate Church, and several others. And they make supper for about 125 folks. They also receive food, sometimes brought in by the churches where they have done food drives. Also, some of the markets give them things like bread and things. So they set up a pantry that people can supplement their needs. And something really cool is, since COVID, one of our homeless organizations for homeless families was Family Promise. And they used to go from congregation to congregation, and every week it was a new group, a new church where people stayed and they provided food and things. And then COVID came and the churches were closed, but they had this portable shower. And so the portable shower has moved to St. Paul's, and they provide a shower ministry where they, at this point, are providing 40 to 50 showers a day for homeless people, in addition to providing socks, underwear, and a clean T-shirt for them, and toiletry items that they might need, and a place to plug in their electrical devices and recharge them. So it is huge, and it just shows what good people of the faith community working together can accomplish. So thank you for my little spiel, listening to me, and we look.
Thank you, Brenda. And we all want to thank you, all the councils. For those of you who don't know, she has hosted most of our Orange County Interfaith Council meetings because she's right in the center of Orange County. And she does a wonderful job allowing us to do a hybrid program at her place. And for those of you who don't know, it's kind of the history of the OCIN area. Long before I got involved 20 years ago, representing Newport, Mesa, Irvine Interfaith, and they were meeting at that same Latter-day Saints building in Orange, because it is the center of the area, and a lot of our board meetings have been held there long before the councils started getting together. So it's been a major place to go, and Brenda has just been super doing that. And I've been to a number of the IYA events, and they're just great, going to all different faith locations and doing booths at so many different events. They just have a wonderful program, and I encourage you to link back in at 4 o'clock and hear from their director, who is an amazing lady also, Jessica Moss. But right now, we're going to stay with the youth component and move to our next part, which I got involved with almost 20 years ago as the MC for this event, because I totally love this program of service. Service to love above self is kind of who I am. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But first, to introduce Hearts and Hands, is the one who started this program, Jaime Day. Jaime, it's yours. Jaime, it's all yours.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing you didn't hear me. Earlier I said, if it wasn't sacrilegious, I'd be dropping and kissing all of your feet. Those of you who have been representing all that you have been in this presentation. Thank you so much. Yes, the Hearts and Hands event began in the year 2000, and I wanted to show you one of the photos Well, the photo that you can see right here, I'll come back to, but well, okay, never mind. I'm not technically oriented. We had many different faiths in our first several years, and then after that, some of the faiths didn't show up as much as we wanted them to, but they reached out to the community, and we had a lot of community volunteers come, and a lot of schools sent students, a lot of families in neighborhoods came, a lot of service groups, including many service groups that Lane reached out to and encouraged to come. Lane, why did you do that?
I really believe that service is the key as we move forward, whether we're doing it as adults as part of interfaith or whether we're encouraging the youth to do it in programs like Hearts and Hands. That's why I encourage all my organizations, whether it's scouting, which I was the leader of for 40 years, or whether it's Rotary, where I work with all the youth programs of Rotary, or then I encourage them all and all the faiths to send their groups to be a part of this wonderful day that we also bring in fire departments, one that cooks for us every year, and one that started a program called Stop the Bleed last year. And it's a wonderful thing like CPR. And the neat thing about it is Hogue has been a big part of our organization for many years in the local area, the hospital supporting interfaith, and they are always there with a blood drive to be a part of it. They're always doing CPR classes there. It's just a wonderful opportunity to serve, and we give the students that show up credit so that they can get signed off for their school as they come in. I'm always there at registration, then I MC the meeting. We always open it with the scouts doing a flag ceremony, and then we always have a prayer from our local president of one of the interfaiths, and it's just a wonderful activity. Go ahead, Jaime.
Oh no, you've now said it all. I can be done. Let me just talk to you real quickly about what we try to accomplish. Mustafa, I completely agree with your event called Around the Table, because 25 years ago when we first began, I had no idea then, none of us would have understood how today that in-person, real-time, around tables, working on projects, being able to meet with each other, get to know each other, share life together has made such a difference. And during the in the middle of COVID, we had the event again, and over 400 people showed up. And some of them were wearing masks and some of them weren't, but they all got around tables. They all were smiling and laughing and having a wonderful time. And I had so many people come and say to me, please, please put this event on again, maybe next month and maybe every month. And we came to realize that being in person and being able to share without extraordinary devices taking away our attention to real time really makes a difference. And one of our themes one year was live more, device less. And I think that that's even more relevant today. So yes, Mustafa, around tables, that makes all the difference. The photo that you are now showing, that was our first year. And you can see that there are many different faiths there. And now multiply that by another 10, and you'll see that we just have a lot of people that come together. Another one of our
I want to tell them about this year. You got 2 minutes.
Okay, our next November 14th event, the theme will be Operation Be a Hero, and we are offering life-saving training in many ways, as Lane already spoke about. We're also going to be offering for the first time instruction on gaining emotional strength. And there's a wonderful group that is coming. They are true heroes from the Be Open Water organization. And what we are needing to have are those who are suffering from emotional traumas, issues, come and learn how to help set that out of your life. And then we want people to turn and be able to teach others how to do that, as we face so many different emotional causes these days. So November 14th, please put that on your calendar. And yes, I heard that there's other events on the 14th. This is going to be in Newport Beach. It's going to incorporate many, many different groups, and IYA is another one of them. So thank you. We'll hope to see you, and contact us. We'll let you know where it's being held.